Hi Ria, thank you so much for being on By the Rules. And for me, it's a personal honor, pleasure because my acquaintance with you was my gateway into spirituality and personal development and all of that. So you obviously played a big part in my spiritual journey, and for that, I'll always be grateful. But what I thought was that just by sharing what you do and who you are and a little bit about your work, it would be interesting for other people to understand what energy is, and that's what our conversation is going to be about. So, how are you doing today? How's it? How's the Josh?
Hi, Shreya. The Josh is quite good because I'm not a very online person, but this
Yeah,
is like something that probably you pushed me to do, and I'm happy about it.
yeah,
And yes, thank you so much for
amazing.
believing in something that I do and having that conviction to follow
Of
your heart
course.
and
Yeah.
pursue spirituality.
Mm-hmm.
Because usually people have this notion that if you're young, you
Mm.
are too young to enter a spiritual school,
Yeah.
but as per me, I think if you're young when you enter spirituality, your life just becomes easier. So, yeah, to burst
100%.
that myth that spirituality is only for older generations, it's a experience for me that whenever people who are younger who come into the school, like I've had students who are
Mm-hmm.
16, 18, 22,
Yeah.
and when they get back to me after they finish all levels or learn a healing or whatever,
Mm.
they always tell me that it's so much easier to handle their relationships or
Yes.
handle their mental turmoils and
Mm-hmm.
challenges. So
Of
it's
course.
great to hear people's feedback, because here I sit and do, and I just
Mm.
try to help them through whatever knowledge or whatever limited experience that I have.
Mm-hmm.
But it seems to change lives, so
Of
that's
course,
I'm
it
happy
does.
about.
So that's amazing. And I would 100% agree because I see the personal benefits in my own life. But just to anybody who's listening, for context, what is it exactly that you do? And what are we talking about here today for somebody who doesn't understand it at all? So, in the simplest terms, how would you break that down?
Okay, so basically, I'm into pranic healing. Pranic healing is nothing but it's the most easiest form of healing yourself and healing others. Now, when you talk about healing, it can
Mm,
be healing on a physical level where you are sought to a doctor. It
mm,
can be healing on a mental and emotional level, like we have counselors or someone who's a buddy and who
right.
likes to talk to you, and you just express yourself. So
Mm-hmm.
here we have techniques where you can clean and energize yourself, whether
Right.
it be disease that you're experiencing, or
Mm,
some pain that you're experiencing, or some discomfort in your body, or there is a time when you are angry.
right.
So basically, pranic healing deals with pranic energy. So
Right.
the word prana in Sanskrit, it comes from there. It
Right.
means life.
Mm,
So there's life energy in all of us, and without that life energy, our bodies will not function. So there
right.
is some source of light or
Mm-hmm.
some source of life that gives us energy to see, hear, eat, digest our food, our hearts to function, our livers to function 24/7 non-stop. And
Mm,
what is that thing that just suddenly the liver starts giving problems, the digestion takes a toll, sometimes you feel depressed. So what are these
mm-hmm.
things where you experience these things? That's the time when the energy is running short. Probably it's like a battery and you're
Okay.
discharged and you have
Okay.
to recharge yourself. So in pranic healing, basically in a layman's term, I would say basically how to recharge yourself in a matter of 2 minutes, 5 minutes,
Amazing.
half an hour. It all depends on how well you're practiced and how well you are taught. Pranic healing is like I eat, drink, sleep, eat. So it's like that.
Yeah.
And you know me,
Yeah.
there
Yeah.
is, even if I'm meeting people, even if I avoid talking about pranic healing, there is someone who's going to ask me questions. And I love doing what I
Yeah.
do because this helps a lot of people.
Of
And
course.
as
Yeah.
an individual, I feel if you know the way to heal yourself, like for
Mm-hmm.
an example, if you've had a bad day, and something's troubling you, and you don't know how to get rid of it, right? You probably keep that energy is in your system, and you're absorbed in the entire problem or turmoil, and you don't know how to get out of it.
Correct.
So there are people who are living in this world with that mental issue or emotional turmoil 24/7. So there are techniques in this where people can just sit in a secluded room where you can play a small meditation. It is called the twin hearts meditation. It's the most easiest form of meditating. It's a guided meditation, and that helps you to revive yourself. Also, there are small techniques. I won't say there's only one technique. If you learn the way to heal yourself, I think there are numerous techniques. Even if a person follows one technique, you can change your life.
What was your introduction to spirituality and into getting into studying energies, getting into what you do today as a full-time thing? So paint us a picture of what life was before that, and what was there like an aha moment where something happened, or was it more gradual? And I mean, like when you were a kid, did you always know that you had a spiritual inclination, or what was it like?
So as a kid and as a college going individual and a teenager, I never thought I'll get into spirituality. I never imagined myself meditating and giving all the spiritual gyan, if I say, to people who are coming to get help, seek help. But like people have ambitions that as a person I want to grow up as a healer or a meditator. I never had something like that. I was enjoying myself, partying hard, and doing everything what a normal girl does. But after marriage, I got into there was always a vacuum in my life where I used to feel that probably I need to do something, because just being a homemaker and taking care of children, and I had a very if you ask me, the life was pretty good. I mean, at that point of time, I had nothing to do. So, there are people who have nothing to do. That is also a problem, because that took a mental, there was a time when I was struggling with my own self, just to create an identity. Just to create, probably find myself that, where do I stand? Like after 10 years, 15 years, I should have that satisfaction that I'm doing something. So, whoever, my family was very supportive. They wanted me to do something, but not to earn money. So typically from an Indian business background, those people always thought that, you are free to do everything, but it's okay, you do it without money. So then I started counseling people. Not that I have a counseling degree, but just sitting and talking to them, I felt they seemed very relieved, because then if people come back to you for advice, that they have done a good job. You've done a good job. And for kids also, like for teenagers, they called me in Sacred Heart Convent to give a talk on how to handle your, like as girls, what are the challenges that you face in society. And that time I did not know about energy. So I just spoke about my own challenges as a teenager, when I left home, when I went out of my... this I was doing in 2005.
Okay. So quite some time now.
So that was a time when I was really searching for something, to do, because I think I was somewhere searching for something where I could have a breakthrough in my life. And in 2000, I think 15, me and my friend, we formed a very small event management group. It was called the Dream Catchers. And we had an amazing time. She's a very dear friend of mine from school, and we just got together one day, and it was just like over coffee, you decided, let's do event management. So she's like, you're creative, you can do the creative part of it, and I can look into accounts and finances and meeting clients. I'm like, okay, as long as I don't have to do one-to-one interaction and sell stuff, I'm okay. You just give me the stuff that I need to work on, the creative. Now that company did very well.
Okay.
We had amazing profits in a year.
Nice.
And in the town, we were known as like event firms, not very big.
Sweet.
And to an extent, people started suggesting that why don't you start buying props for the wedding and those kind of things, and that required a lot of investment. So I suggested to my husband that I want to really get into it. I need to invest some money. He said, you will not get money to invest. Whatever money you earn, you start investing in that. So that was something I was like, okay, fine, then let's wait when the time comes.
Right.
And then that Diwali, we got a big order for Diwali gifting. And that was good fun. We did about close to 1,500 to 2,000 gifting items.
Okay.
We had a full exhibition. We got orders.
Nice.
And then pranic healing came into my life after Diwali. And this was just out of the blue. I was reading a book, Many Masters, Many Lives. And I seemed to just associate myself with things which were written there. Amazing. So there's another friend who was 17 years into pranic healing, but she never told me about it, or she never pushed me to do it. She was just there. So it was times, you have few friends who are just there to listen to you. She was one of them. I knew she was into pranic healing, but what was pranic healing was the last thing in my mind when I used to meet her.
Correct.
So I called her and I said, you know what? I just feel that I should do something because it related to energy, related to probably where I know what I'm feeling. So, and I can use that feeling or that sensitivity to help people. So she's like, okay, I get what you're saying, but right now I have only one thing to say. Why don't you do pranic healing? I was like, okay. So she lined me up with a trainer in another city, since we never used to have classes here. And she told me that, okay, over a 5-month period, you'll finish all these classes, and it'll be great because you learn every month, you learn one level. I'm like, okay, 5 months is cool. So I asked my husband. He said, yeah, as long as you're busy, I don't have a problem. But yeah, traveling to Calcutta, you see how good it is, because you'll be traveling for 2 days, coming back, and no one to stay with. I was like, okay, we'll decide. So the first level was over the weekend. So I called my aunt and said, I'm going for a class. So she's like, what class are you going for? I said, she knew I kept trying new things. So I told her that, yeah, so I'm trying to go and learn healing. So she's like, what healing is this? I said, it's called pranic healing. It's by Grandmaster Choa Koksui, and this is what they are going to teach me. They have sent me pamphlets and flyers online. And this whole school is, by this teacher who's from Philippines, and people learn this thing, and they say that you can heal people. So I said, I'm just going to try it out, and I need a place to stay. She's like, don't go. We are doing the same course over the weekend in Jamshedpur. Why don't you join us? I was like, Arey, how come? Well, there's another trainer coming. And he also teaches the same thing. Why are you going all the way that to alone? You do it with us. I was very happy. I was like, wow, it's the same school. So I said, you send me the all the flyers and the details, and I would like to go through them, because the trainer who was going to teach me in Calcutta, he told me, you please make sure it is affiliated to the Institute for Inner Studies. I was like, okay. So I went through the flyers and they were matching. I said, fantastic. So first of all, financial. So since I was a homemaker, I always thought where to cut my prices and costs so that, the thing could be, and I didn't know where it was going to take me, right? It was just another thing that I was doing. So I said, okay, it saves the cost of me going, staying, and, doing it alone. So and that trainer kept telling me, you get a partner with you. I said, where will I get a partner with me? I'm the only crazy person who thinks that I should learn this. I cannot get a partner. He's like, no, Jaya, you know what? It's more effective if you get a partner. So I kept telling him that, you know what? It's not possible. I'm coming alone and I need to learn alone. So I called him up and said, you were asking me to get a partner. I've got a full group who's going to learn. So we are about 10, 12 of us who sat for the class, the level, first level, and rest is history. Because after that, I did not stop.
Amazing.
After that, I think it was my calling. Like
Hmm.
people say that, that the class that I sat for me, there's something that we scan energies, feel energies, and the meditation. And the meditation have had the prayer of Saint Francis of Assisi.
Yeah.
And I really associated with that because that we used to recite every single day in convent school.
Correct. Yeah.
And that was something like, wow, I found some space which is so comfortable because as a small girl, I've recited that prayer every time. And if you could just utilize their prayer to create magic for others, that's what they told us.
Yeah.
And so then after that, we did that meditation for 90 days nonstop. That was the challenge that I took, that I will meditate for 90 days and I'll see if this does not work, I will stop. But those 90 days just changed everything, because within that 90 days I finished 3 levels. By another month I finished all my levels. And then today it's another story that I can tell people. Probably people might get inspired that from homemaker, where I did not have a clue what I'm going to do in life, and now that I have so much on my plate, that I have to actually, there are times when I feel that if this was not there, I don't know what I would be doing right now.
Right. It's so amazing. And again, like, I have so many questions, but I'm like, I have to choose my questions well in the interest of time and everything. How would you, so when you said that, you can scan energies and you can sense energies and all of that. So what is this? What is this system, and why should we pay more attention to this, and how does it impact us?
Okay. So if you just think of our entire system, the entire earth, okay, we are all connected. That's what we learn, that what you do to others, it also comes back to you. It's like a common thing that is taught in moral science classes. Okay. Now there is something called energy. Like we talk about positive, negative energy, or you talk about vibes, that okay, this person is not giving me the right vibes. Now there is something called the aura of a person. Yeah. If you go on your online and you type aura, you'll get the entire explanation. So this aura is nothing but it is magnetic. Okay. It has some pull to it, that if your aura is whatever you have in that aura, you get attracted or that gets attracted. It's like a sponge, it just absorbs that thing. So now if I talk about people who are not exposed to energy, it's something like you go to a coffee shop. Okay. Now, even if you are not a coffee drinker, you will end up ordering coffee and having coffee. Yes. So that is the energy of the room. The energy of coffee is in the room. So we absorb ourselves of the coffee thoughts that they are there. Yeah. So that's why they say the 5 people who surround you usually are your best friends, and they are all alike. Okay. So that is the energy that you have attracted to your own self. Yeah. So there are times when I'm just talking generally to a girl or to someone who comes for help, and they say, I'm going through a bad patch in my marriage. So that's the time when I ask them that, okay, tell me, how are your friends placed in relationships? So she'll say always that there are people who have undergone divorce, or they are in the process of divorcing each other.
Okay.
So
interesting.
There is energy that surrounds us. There's energy that is surrounding each and every person. Now it depends how much of energy and what is the quantity, the quality of energy that surrounds you. Okay. Now what I do, when we talk about pranic healing, you can increase the quantity of energy, and you can also make your quality also better. Refining your energies by doing certain practices where you start eliminating negative things from your system and attracting positive things. Okay. So it's like when you clean your house. Okay. When you get rid of things which are not being used, or which are broken, or which are cracked, right? Then you make space for new things to come in. Okay, so basically, when we talk about energy, when we're talking about positive vibes and negative vibes, it's nothing to do with your home. It's nothing to do with the people around you. It is always to do with you. Okay. So when you're talking about negative energy, which is affecting you, sometimes it is you who has to understand if it's that negativity exists in your system.
Okay.
So that's the time when you need a healer. That's the time when you need to learn healing to take that energy out so that you can fill yourself with positivity.
Right. There's this general attitude towards anything that our brain does not fully understand. It's common human behavior to reject it, right? When you're saying that, it's a reflection of what the person is actually on the inside and all of that. So, what are some things that we can do to elevate our energies, which are not necessarily, because if you tell somebody go sit and meditate, they will like, fuck off. No, I'm not going to do that.
Okay, so I'll just answer the first part where you said it's very difficult to believe what you can't see. Right. So recently I had a batch of 16-year-old boys, and they were totally close to this idea. The mothers wanted them to learn. So obviously they made them sit for the class. And simple things like when you made them just think about facts like you can't see electricity unless and until there's a light which is switched on. So there is a concept of electricity. Right? There are things which you can't see but you believe. Like, for example, there is a higher being, there is a supreme being. Even if you don't believe in God, you cannot get rid of the fact that there is a creator who exists there, who has created us. If you go into the biological terms, okay, there are two people who are creating a baby, but there is some mechanism, that some energy which allows them to do that, right? So in any problem, whenever a person's going through a problem or an issue, first thing that they think about is that supreme being. The power that is with that's a source. Even if a person does not believe in God, they will ask, they will always say, okay, I need help. Now, so within your, there is, that's, I think, a reflex for every human being. Even if you don't have faith in God, even if you don't believe in anything that is there, which is, where people are worshipping or religion or whatever, but then when they are in trouble, they ask for help. And that help is very loud in their head that I need help, I need help, I need help. So when a person is seeking help, then obviously that supreme God or the supreme being will not come down. They will send people who are sources or instruments of helping them. So I regard like a counselor or a normal friend or someone who's like for us, like for healers or any alternative therapy person as a help. Like we are being sent. When you're asking for help, there will be some person who will be helping you. So it is okay not to believe in things what you can't see. We also have been asked to validate. So whenever a student comes to learn, the first thing that we tell them that you need to validate, you need to ask questions, because we are told by the teacher of the school that you cannot ask anyone to believe blindly in something. So unless until you experience, how would you know that it exists? Right? Today we experience the energy through various methods. That's how we have come into the school. Otherwise, it would be very difficult for me as a person in 2015. Okay, I don't know which generation we belong to, X, Y, or whatever. At that point of time, also, if someone told me that, okay, without touching, I will heal you, I would have said, oh, please, don't, don't make a fool of me, because I know it doesn't happen. Okay, before I learned. Because for me also, this thing does not exist. That how can you just believe in something blindly, right? But then there is a conviction which is coming in every time, because when you become that source of helping people and that source of healing people, where you don't touch that person and there are no side effects, there is no drug used. Like for example, if I'm just talking vague, think about acupressure, acupuncture, Reiki. When you talk about all this, like sound healing, these are all what? They are not touching the person anyway. They are just being, there's energy which is being utilized to heal the person.
Right.
Yes, like for something like meditation. Before meditation, after meditation. Yesterday, I think, 2 days back, I think I went on Insta and I saw pictures of how you meditate, what the brain looks like. And after that, took a picture of after meditation. So that much of validation has been given now by the world, where people are resorting to meditating, people are resorting to spirituality. I think this has happened majorly after COVID wave.
Correct, yeah.
And even your generation, Shreya, I feel after COVID, they have realized that, relationships are important. Behavior is important, the way you behave. People have undergone depression, suicidal tendencies at that point of time. So there are some people who actually want to heal it through spirituality.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of young people coming and seeking help.
That's
so that is a beautiful thing. So I always told you in the class also, like I tell others also, that I'm always jealous of people who are below 30 who are learning this, because at that point in school, if I learned how to do super brain and how to energize my brain and you regenerate my brain cells, my maths and physics and chemistry, I would have been a champion. I wouldn't have struggled with that. So amazing. I have my son who's 16 and who has been doing he practices the techniques what he's allowed to. And he tells me that, Mama, it makes a lot of difference to me when I'm not doing and when I'm doing.
Wow.
So it's not only with him. I've had some rats whom I've experimented on that, okay, you do super brain, or that's on Google. So if your audience wants to go and see and learn on super brain, that's a beautiful technique by Master Chowakotsui, where we ask them to practice and they can regenerate the brain cells. So the memories become better.
Wow, that's amazing. I'll go back to the point where you said that you also had a past life before all of this, where you were partying hard and all of that was happening. And my question to you is that, do you think, can they both exist in tandem? And what are your thoughts? And what does the learning say around that?
Well, that's an amazing question. Yes, of course, it can exist. Why not?
Wow. Okay.
Just because you're spiritual, that doesn't mean you can't party. And just because you party doesn't mean that you can't meditate.
Nice.
Yeah. So I think if you're partying and if you're meditating, I think you are balancing your life so well, where you are actually probably living a very happy life. Because for me, if I was told that when you are doing your meditation and you're healing and you're doing pranic healing, you're supposed to leave everything and sit in the house and just meditate, or probably leave the house also and go and meditate, I won't have probably joined spirituality.
Right.
Yeah, but in pranic healing, we are taught to balance everything. That staying in the society, how you do practice spirituality and also do your stuff. You can I also party with my friends. Okay, it's not probably the intensity has come down, not like I used to party in college, but I love to go out, meet people. Amazing. I enjoy myself, and there are times when I have to meditate. I have to meditate, right? Because I have patients with me. I have students who seek help, and I need to be there 100% for them. I can't tell them that, okay, I partied last night really hard. I know I need to sleep, so cancel the appointment. So, or friends, yes, I can. Friends, they don't listen to me when I say, okay, I have a class tomorrow and I have to, they say, no, you have to come. So, okay. So there are times when I don't feel that you have to leave either just to be a good person. I mean, when you want to be a good person, then you need to balance. We all have our own, space where we are something that we want to be, and there is a space where we are what we are. Right. So want to be is that social circle, And where we are is the spirituality, where you learn how to accept yourself the way you are. You have anger issues. Yes, everyone has anger issues. You have mental issues. Everyone has mental issues. There's anxiety in every person. You have competitive energies. Everyone is competitive. Today, in this world, if you're not competitive, where will you land yourself? You'll always be confused, right? So competition is good as long as you're competing with your own self. That is what I believe, 100%. Because I have been sometimes told that, you're very competitive. I have never been competitive, even in my school or anything, even in this profession. But I always believe that I have to be a better version of myself. 100%. And if you don't improve yourself, and if you don't compete against what you are doing, it's for your own self, that satisfaction that you have. Okay, fine, last year I did this much, and this year I have to do this much. That's competition with your own self. So I think every individual needs to understand that partying, spirituality, both have to happen for a person to stay sane. If you're partying too hard, that's also a problem. If you're meditating too much, that is also a problem. So you need to be a social animal and a spiritual animal. So everything can happen. Both the things can be balanced. At your age, I'm saying that, it's so important to expose yourself to spirituality, because there are a lot of issues where an individual cannot talk to anyone about. Like, for example, if I'm allowed to, I would also like to mention that, this is a favorite topic that I like to take it up with mothers and parents. You know what's coming up. It's about being candid about sex, being candid about respecting your own sex energy. In our society, we are taught it's a taboo topic that we cannot talk to our children about, or they cannot discuss what's happening to them. So that is something that I'm very open about now, and I don't feel that you should suppress that energy. Yes, it's important, because you need to explain, you need to have someone whom you can talk about it from the very beginning. When I think a girl hits puberty or a boy hits puberty, they say you don't have to say anyone. Don't go and talk about it to anyone. And there are houses where a girl is they don't even know what's happening to them. Okay, so they learn from outside, from their friends. Right now, there's online stuff available. There's a lot of stuff which is available online. Now, the risk is either you explain to your children about sex energy the way you want them to learn, or you don't explain them anything and let them learn what online has to offer. And believe me, online has lot of things to offer. So it's better. I think I would like to use this platform for all the teenagers to be open about whatever's happening in your life with your relationships, even if you are sexually involved with people, or you have a relationship going on, or something that you want to know about your own private parts. I mean, there is something that you need to resort to is openly talking about it, because our society says that this is a very taboo topic, and I feel that this is the most important topic a child needs to be addressed.
100%. I'm so glad that you brought that up. I mean, I don't think I've done this for any other guest on the show, but I just feel like clapping. That it's such an important thing, and it also. So there was one thing that I was already thinking of, but this is a very nice segue from what you said. That I remember 2 years back, I had met you at a New Year's party at the friend who introduced us at the first place, and you gave me a hug. And we were seeing each other after 2 years, I think 2-3 years, more than that, and I just felt very warm. Just with that hug, I just felt like there is such a good energy to this person, and I was like, oh my god, is this what it does? Is this how spirituality affects your life? Then I want that too. So first, I would definitely want you to break that down, and very objectively. So what actually happens to a person's aura when they're practicing spirituality.
Okay, so when you hugged me, I hope I was wearing something really warm, probably. That's why. December, I must be really glad. Okay, I'm just joking. Okay, so warmth is related to love energy.
Yeah.
Okay, that is what we feel, right? You feel warm around a person when the person is too loving.
Yeah.
Now, when we talk about, I would take the liberty of talking about the Twin Hearts meditation introduced to us by Grandmaster Joe Foxley. That meditation is super powerful because there are times when I'm not healing a person because the person is not very receptive to healing, like your generation. When your generation comes in, I don't offer healing. I say, okay, I have a meditation that I can help you with. You provided you just meditate for 5 days and tell me how you feel about it.
Right.
And Shreya, I've had depression patients come out of depression just doing Twin Hearts meditation.
Sweet, yeah.
Okay, so there are children who are having concentration issues, and just through meditation, they have actually started to study where they never used to touch the books. So this meditation talks about how to activate your heart chakra and your crown chakra. So when you activate your heart, where through this meditation, there's more love energy flowing through your systems.
Sweet,
okay. Now, when you do it continuously, you become a reservoir of energy where when you meet people or when you talk to people, they feel a lot of love and connection towards you.
Yeah.
So this is when we started the conversation. I was talking about energy, how you can influence. So Twin Hearts meditation is a meditation where if you want to become loving, when you want to become kind, that's the best meditation. And plus that has helped me a lot, if I have to talk about it, to flush out a lot of negativity out of my system and of the past, of my childhood or whatever I have gone through. But that meditation really helped me to bring myself out of whatever I was, like a student or an individual, or managing relationships, because the meditation helps you to get a lot of love energy. It's basically love and spiritual energy. So if people would like to learn, if they are interested, there are a lot of things online. It's called the Twin Hearts meditation. They also can contact their own centers across the world where this pranic healing is in 120 countries. They can just go and Google on Twin Hearts, and it's meditation which we give for free. It's taught for free. But when you need to buy the meditation, you need to pay a very small amount to buy the meditation.
Sweet, that's exactly what I felt. That I felt
so the warm and fuzziness came from 20 minutes of practice of Twin Hearts meditation.
Thank you so much. But like that is exactly what I wanted to put in words, that it felt like there's so much love that this person's giving to me, and we've like, even though we were in touch, I was like, why does this person love me so much? That's what I was feeling. And
so of course, if there were 20 people whom I'm hugging, they must be feeling the same.
Exactly.
I'm just, with full humility, I'm saying that, but all credit to the meditation that we practice. You have practiced Twin Hearts meditation.
Yes, of course. And like a lot of people,
there are times when you are troubled, you resort to it. I don't have to tell you how you feel. You must be feeling really peaceful at that point of time after meditating also.
And I've also gotten this from a lot of people, that like, your hugs are so warm, your energy is so loving. And I have seen that when I'm practicing the meditation, I'm like, oh really? But like, when I put things into context, I'm like, this actually does something, but how do I explain it to somebody who doesn't know what it is, kind of a thing. And so the next thing that I wanted to segue into was that you said sex energy. So what is that? And secondly, what do we need to, when we say that we need to be mindful about how we're engaging with other people, just specific to love and relationships, what does that look like?
Now, to answer that question of love energy, sex energy. So sex energy, we talk about, there are chakras in our body. So if you read any yoga book, they mention chakras. They are gateways. They are gateways to, of energy, basically. So sex is also an energy. It's an energy of creation. Okay, so without that, there wouldn't have been any creation which would have taken place. The population wouldn't have been expansive. things around you would have been stagnant. So that energy exists in every individual. And if you see it as a normal energy, like sex is normal, sex needs to be existing because you need to procreate, right? But then you also need to understand that when you are ready for it completely.
Right.
Okay. Now, sexual act is a very, very it's not like it can happen with anyone. Only when you feel the spark and when you feel that need that, okay, this person can give me this, then only that happens. So I've had cases where there are multiple partners also. Now, in this case, usually the boy or the girl has had very, very traumatic relationships as a child.
Okay. In this life.
This person, yeah.
Okay. In this specific life.
In this life. So that person is looking for validation that which one is better for me, because there's so much of past experiences where one relationship was traumatic. So the person is relating to things and thinking, okay, this is good for me, this is good for me, this is good for me. Then it becomes like a pattern. Then it forms a habit. Okay. Now that's a habit of a person to have multiple partners. But for me, if you ask me, then a healthy sex life, or if you want to exchange sexual energy, it's more of a person whom you can connect to. More of a person whom you are in love with. That sex is not only the way to express love. Sex can also be a way where you are not having sex, but you can still express love to each other. Okay, so sex is, in a relationship, sometimes sex is important, but it's like a paradox. It is important for maintaining a relationship, but when you have to maintain a relationship, sometimes sex is also not important. Just to check that, okay, without sex, will you be surviving or not? Yeah. So that is one point. And the other one you had asked me about was, so basically energy, a relationship involves two people, okay, where either you like the person because the person has some, like, there are mutual understanding of things that you like. Both of them have some passion about something. Like, for example, music. So they both like music. So they met at a platform where there was music and they fell in love. Okay. There's someone who likes food. So then two foodies came together. One doesn't like to cook. The other one loves to cook. But the other one just loves to eat. So that is a common thing. So usually when two people are attracted towards each other in a relationship, it's more to do with what the other one can give. Or compensate. Whatever is missing in a person, the other one can give you. Right? So you are always compensating for that energy. Okay. So you will never find two individuals who are alike and they are into a relationship. They are always opposites. That's why they say opposites attract. So for me, I have seen relationships where a person doesn't love cooking, but the other one just loves cooking. So that's like a compensation that they are doing between their relationship. Right? For someone who's very ambitious and someone who's not very ambitious. So then they come together. So that fusion of a compensation, that fusion of mixing energies, it creates a very, very strong bond. Because then they feel that, okay, I cannot do without this person. But the moment you have the same energies, then you start clashing, because then you are out to prove that I'm better at this, I'm better at this. So for maintaining relationships, sometimes even if you're better at something, you have to show that you don't know.
Right. It's like the yin and yang kind of a thing that, you balance each other out.
So yin and yang is a very good example. I was not getting at it, but yes, if there is, there's in every person there is yin and yang. So there's some dark side of person. There is a very small light,
100%. Yeah.
and there is light in a person. There's darkness also. So we always say that darkness exists in a person, and there is, even if the person is darkness, there is light in that person. So no individual is completely bad, and no individual is completely good. So relationships, when you're maintaining relationships, you cannot ask 100%. For me, your generation always looks for 100%. It is not possible because, I think the older generations, we were never so exposed to realities. Okay. Whatever exists in front of our eyes, like when we saw our parents, our whatever uncle, aunties, friends, the inner circle, outer circle, we believed that was life. Now for you and for your generation, there's so much on social media. There's so much of stuff which is available to read when you talk about relationship. If you just have to type a relationship on Google, you'll get an entire literature. You can create a whole cinema out of it. Yes. But for me, there is no perfect relationship. Okay. If you look at someone and say, okay, wow, what a couple. It's probably, they look very beautiful together, but there's always something which is missing in a couple. And no one can be perfect. I'm telling you, no couple is perfect. No relationship is perfect. Every couple fights. Every couple has issues. It's just that, like I said, the moment you start understanding that, okay, that person is compensating what I don't have, the weakness within me, and that person's contribution is making me a stronger person, you will start respecting the relationship and the person.
Nice. But like, what about the whole conversation where we say that, like you are whole in yourself and, you need to be detached and all of that, like you shouldn't seek outside of you what you need, kind of there's a
okay, these are thoughts which come during problematic times, that okay, you don't need anyone, you are what you are.
I love it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm telling you, the days if you are troubled, you'll think you don't need anyone. Okay, and you can manage your entire life. You can earn for yourself, you can fend for yourself, you don't want anyone in your life. And when you're in a good mood, you'll say, nahi yaar, I need my friends, I can't do without this person, I need my mother, I need my parents. So that is all. It's like, I don't know, I will start studying human beings and the emotions that they have, because we are very complicated. As for me also, if I study my behaviors, and there are times when I'm just sitting and meditating, and then I realize that there is so much of complication. You want to be a good person, but every time you realize it's not possible to be good all the time. Because if you're good all the time, it is not natural.
It's exhausting also, no?
Okay. Huh?
It feels like for me, it feels exhausting also. Like, if
I mean, imagine you being good for 2 hours where you are going to a party and you're really good. You're smiling. You are in the best of your clothes and your makeup and your hair. It's perfect. But at some point of time, you just want to pick up your hand and do that. Okay? Because how much of perfection can you be? Because naturally, we are not perfect. And the day, if everyone believes, understands that we are not perfect, we are moving towards perfection every day through making mistakes, understanding, life becomes easy. It's not that I don't make mistakes if I'm a spiritual person. Probably I make more mistakes because, I know that is the mistake. So sometimes out of not making mistakes, I'm making mistakes. You understand? By holding yourself back. But then we all make mistakes, and we need to understand that and learn from the lesson and not repeat them. That's what the teacher says. That's what the Grandmaster Choksui says in his teachings, that when you are making mistakes, it's human to make mistakes, but remember not to repeat them, because that is the understanding of how not to make mistakes and to practice spirituality in your daily life. That is what we do, and that is what we encourage people to do. That relationship involves a lot of mistakes when you're handling relationships. When you're looking at each other's face every day, you're meeting, it's like you're living under the same roof. You have to let go of weaknesses of every person, because the moment you start looking into the weaknesses more, then the person will not have any value for you. So you need to see the better part about a person, where how the person supports you to become a stronger person, whether it be your child, your parents, whether it be your siblings, or whether it be your spouse. It is all culminates from that how does that person helps you to become better.
Exactly what you said, that you have to see the humanness in the other person and respect that also. So how do you as a healer deal with your difficult emotions? Because I'm sure there must be lots of them.
Yeah, of course.
It's a part of being
Like I
human. Yeah.
have, yes, because see, it's a part of being who I am, right? I have my dark space, I have my dark days, I have my experience where I'm not probably being treated well, or you have expectations from a certain person and that person does not come up to that expectation. So there are times when I'm also not happy like the way I am right now. But then, I have realized that when I train people to heal, when I give counseling, that when you start giving gratitude, so that is what I started to do, because sitting on the other side of my table, when I started having a lot of people with issues, I realized that I'm in such a better place where I just have to handle my emotions and my day just works to be fine. Yes. So if I'm angry, I just need to handle that anger. If I'm sad, I just need to make myself happy. So it's very easy when you understand that there are people who are in more trouble than you. Probably a person who cannot see, that person is troubled, right? Suddenly the vision goes away. I'm not talking about blind people, because blind people don't know what it is to see. Okay, because they are born like that, so they don't have the luxury of knowing what it feels like to see. Okay, but a person who's just lost an eyesight is painful, because that person has actually experienced how the world looks, and suddenly losing that is something so painful. Now tell me, what is a compensation of a person losing an eyesight compared to my anger? Nothing. I mean, what is the measure that you would give? I can get rid of anger. And also, I have realized that people in your life, when they come and when they are testing you, there are times when you are feeling really horrible, that why is that person behaving with me like that? I take them as something that I need to change within myself. Because in spirituality, it is taught that they are your mirrors, and they are showing you your own face. So I have started taking that. It took me a lot of time. Not that I've perfected that understanding, but somewhere I'm much more peaceful. That okay, fine, this person is giving me a tough time. I need to understand what I need to change within me, and probably that works for me, because that's how I handle those days. Because then I say to myself, okay, this is a passing phase, it will get fine, but I need to learn my lesson. I need to understand where I went wrong with someone. That is why the person's behaving like this. For me, I have started believing in a lot of golden rule. Now, golden rule is something very simple. What you want others to do to you, you have to do the same thing. So it starts with you. You want love, you need to give love. So you need to basically give stuff to people for you to get back. So if I have hurt someone intentionally or unintentionally, that's how you're being hurt. For me, it's as simple. But there are people, if I talk like this, they'll say, oh, this is all BS and I don't understand this. There are people who are really bad in this world, and why should I be good to them? That's a very genuine question. At the age of 20, 25, I would have also said the same thing. That why should I be good to that person? That person is giving me sleepless nights. That at that point of time, you're young, and that time you feel that okay, at 25, 26, if people are behaving like that, then you don't want to be the good person, because eventually people will just be taking advantage of your goodness. That's what people feel at that age. But then we also need to understand that if someone is really behaving bad with you, then there's somewhere you need to correct yourself. That if you are good to people, there is no reason they'll behave badly with you. At that age I'm talking about, because there are less of social engagements, there's social responsibilities, you are a carefree person. Okay. I don't remember as at that age having too many fights. We used to have fights like group fights
Yeah.
where everyone formed a group and one person was the target. We used to
Yeah.
do that,
Yeah.
but very less.
Yeah.
And I think that was the best time of my life, because if I look back and with this understanding, we actually didn't have much relationship issues, and we were carefree, and there was no status quo, and there was no understanding that okay, you come from this background and I come from that background. It just, we just require to be nice to each other and be there for each other. That was the two requirements, I think, which we had at that time. And if we didn't live up to that requirement, that was the point to fight. That was a reason to fight. But as you grow as an adult, as you have more responsibility, the problem starts where you want to be the best. Okay, as the best homemaker, best mother, and then you put the pressure on the child to perform better. You put the pressure on your house help to clean the house better, because you want to be a better homemaker by showing your house is the best decorated, the best interior designing has been done. The pressure is on the husband, because then you want to be the best wife, and then the relationship suffers, because then probably there are few things which needs correction, but since you think that you don't make mistakes, the relationship suffers, because then it's not always one-way traffic. So for me, if you ask me about relationships at the age of 25, 26, you're more easygoing, less of responsibility, and you are just, probably if people are not otherwise doing something, you're more focused at your career, and you meet people, you like people, but I think at present, no one is thinking about settling. Till you are settled or something like that. Yeah, I've had very few people who who are getting married early now, because they all feel that okay, let's try and test this relationship. If it lasts more than 6 days, this person is going to be with me. Yeah, so I think 6 hours can also be a test. So we were just talking, having a conversation with my son, elder son, and he said, Mama, having a 1-day relationship also is a big thing nowadays. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, if a girl stays with you for 1 day also, that's a big thing. Okay, so yeah,
amazing.
This has come to that.
Again, like at the risk of repeating myself, there's so much that I want to talk to you about, but in the interest of time, I'll quickly try and wrap this up. And I want to ask you, why do you think our generation is overloaded with these unnecessary problems everywhere? Like there's too much of drama, I personally feel.
Because you all have too much of drama in your head, watching all the Netflix dramas and series. I think everyone wants. Yeah, I'm just joking. It's just that I think people, they have over expectations. I think that's where we need to understand. We over expect from every single thing. We don't want to give, but we want from others. So I think the balance where you're giving and receiving has become a little topsy-turvy. Earlier, people used to give more, whether the person received or not. It can be a relationship, anything. Here, people would receive more. So the receiving energy, if I'm talking about receiving, like time, time for in a relationship. So someone wants to make sure that you are spending 5 hours in a day together to have that relationship. In earlier times, even if you didn't spend time with each other, you still love that person. So I feel that giving and receiving has been a little twisted. It's a little, that's a law, like it's a universal law. It is in giving that you receive, right? But here the receiving is more than giving. So if a person understands this, all the problems in life will get easy, because then the moment you start giving and the receiving and giving is balanced, everything will balance.
I love that.
For me, it's like that. People can differ on that.
No, I love what you said because the first conversation that I had on this podcast, it was with my friend and flatmate, and he said the same thing that you enter any relationship with a giving attitude. You don't go to take, you go to give. So, is there anything important that, according to you, that you would want to bring out in this conversation?
I think more or less we've covered everything. But
Hmm.
if anyone is looking for solutions in life, like many
Handy.
people are mentally disturbed,
Right.
emotionally disturbed,
Right.
something like just stress can, a very small thing like stress at work can disturb your
Hmm.
relationship at home. Okay.
100%.
My
Yeah.
message to all the people who would listen to this podcast is resort to spirituality. I know it's something like, it's an advertisement, but it's
Yeah.
not,
Yeah.
because I also entered spirituality when I was young.
Hmm.
And in my house, people said, "Oh, you do it this when you're 60. Why are you doing right now?"
Right.
But it has really helped me in terms of just just being me. I
Hmm.
don't have to pretend to people. I don't have to wear a mask in front of the society saying, "Okay, I am so good." I am what I am. It's as simple. For me,
Beautiful.
happiness is from within. So I
Hmm.
would like all of you to seek that happiness from within. When you are happy from within,
Hmm.
even when you are lonely, whenever
Hmm.
you are, lonely, not feeling, not having people around you,
Right.
you will still be happy. And
Hmm.
probably you will be a light in someone's life because you
Hmm.
just bring that happiness. It's just like Shreya mentioned, like warm and fuzzy feeling.
Hmm.
So
That's
become
very
a warm and
true.
fuzzy feeling for people.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Oh.
don't,
Yeah.
you know
Yeah.
yeah, so every person who listens to this podcast should get that,
Hmm.
inspiration to become
Hmm.
warm and fuzzy for others,
For another.
irrespective of whether you get that warmth or fuzziness from others or not. But that's the
1000%.
only
Yeah.
thing that can keep us going in this
Yeah.
lifetime, because
Hmm.
life is challenging. There are challenges, there are obstacles,
Yeah.
there are a lot of expectations from us, and we
Hmm.
need to work hard, we need to
Hmm.
earn, we need to have a
Right.
good life. But then where all this ends?
Yeah.
Okay, one
Yeah.
day I think all of us are going to leave this world. What are you going to leave this world
Hmm.
what are
Hmm.
you going to
Hmm.
leave your friends behind
Yeah.
with? Like a good memory of you, or someone
Hmm.
who will say, "Acha, chalo, that's fine.
Right.
We got
Right.
rid of that person." Okay, so
Yeah.
be an example in the
Yeah.
society
Yeah.
where you can help people through
Hmm.
anything that you want. I'm not
Yeah.
talking about something big, just
Hmm.
giving time.
Hmm. Hmm.
Sometimes giving time to a friend is
Yeah.
also healing.
Hmm. Hmm.
Sometimes giving time to your children is also healing.
Correct.
Sometimes giving time to a relationship is also healing.
Yeah.
So instead of receiving time from others, start giving. So my
Hmm.
message would have been, from this, whatever we are having, the entire conversation about energy,
Yeah.
about pranic healing, about any alternative therapy that you have
Hmm.
to resort to, it's your personal choice. Your
Hmm.
meditation is your personal choice.
Hmm.
But the only thing that you can do right now is to start giving. You can just
Yeah.
pick up a call and give
Yeah.
a call to a friend who will not call for long and say, "Hi, how are you?"
So
That would
sweet.
be,
Yeah. I
yeah,
love
that
that
would be
message.
something that probably will make you happy also.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Thank you so much, Jaya, for your time. I am so, so, so honored that, you've been so giving in this conversation also. And there's definitely a part two that I want to do where we talk about karma and everything else that I want to pick your brain around
Okay,
with
the
that.
hard stuff, the
Yeah, the
heavy
hard
stuff.
stuff. Yeah, the heavy stuff. Of course, it has to. This was just like, an introduction, and I'm so proud and inspired by everything that you do and everything that you stand for. And once again, thank you so, 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 so much for making the time. I know you're super busy, but I really appreciate
I'm
this.
not super busy. I'm not super busy. Thank you,
Okay.
Shreya.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
just is just go back to when I met you the first time and to now. I also
yeah.
feel so proud to see you like this,
Thank you
because
so much.
when you have something broken and you
Yeah,
mend it and you give it shape,
yeah,
and that thing starts looking beautiful,
yeah.
you are not the creator, but you were a part where
Of
you
course,
just
yeah.
mended something, just a small time that you spent, and the person blooms. So
Mm,
you are like that amazing person now, taking
Thank you.
interviews and talking online. I don't know if you imagined yourself doing this,
I don't
but
think so.
this also makes me proud that
Yeah.
people whom I've touched lives,
Yeah.
and people whoever comes in touch with me in my small way, whether they learn pranic healing or not, whether they meditate or not, just the fact that through the teachings I can help someone, that is also a big thing. If I can make a small change in their lives, that's a contribution to the world and the society. Thank you so much for having me on your podcast.
Thank you. You have a nice day.
Thank you. Bye. See you.
See you.
Yeah, you too.